Hi there. Welcome to FlossTube number 1 from Blue Wagon Stitcher. My name's Melissa, and I've been thinking about doing this for a while and decided to just give it a go. Like so many others that have just started out on this journey, I've been inspired by a few and thought, what the heck, let's just put it out there and see how it goes. So welcome. Again, my name's Melissa, and my channel here and my social media on Instagram is the Blue Wagon Stitcher. And like many others, I thought I'd start out with a WIP parade. I am a multi-crafter. I started with quilting and paper crafting, and really had watched the Fat Quarter Shop and Nicole with her paper crafting and Fat Quarter Shop with quilting, and many other people in those two realms of crafting. And then saw Nicole and Fat Quarter Shop start to dabble into cross stitch, and I had cross stitched way back when I was younger. My father actually cross stitches. He does kits that are full coverage on large scroll frames, and I had done a few of the Dimensions kits as a kid. Not ever finishing any of them, actually. I have one finished. I'll have to show that to you in my finished parade, that I finished as a teen. Just a nice little, verse of love one another. And then the pandemic came, and I thought, we're sitting around home, I should share with my children my daughter's cross-stitching. So my daughter and I went to Hobby Lobby and each picked out a Dimensions kit, and I stitched a little bit on that kit and then kind of gave it up. And then about a year ago, was watching the FlossTube, and like I mentioned, Fat Quarter Shop, Nicole Spohr, saw their stitching, and then started down the rabbit hole of FlossTubes and started getting back into cross stitch and the more modern cross stitches and all of the many patterns and creators that are out there, which is new and exciting and fun. So one of the things that has kind of kept me from FlossTube is the idea that I don't have enough, that I've been in it too short of a time. And Nicole, in her last FlossTube, I'll link it below, had mentioned the idea of many of us think we don't stitch a lot, but when we actually look at what we've actually done quite a lot. And that inspired me and gave me the little nudge that I needed to go ahead and just give this a go. So here we are. I am a mom of 4. I am a teacher, a school teacher, elementary teacher. My husband is also a teacher. Now I teach at the university level and teach in a pre-service teacher program and teach up-and-coming teachers to be teachers. And I just love it. My 4 kids, my oldest is married and is 20. And then I have a senior in high school, an 8th grader, and a 3rd grader. So I have 2 girls and then 2 boys. And we are from Idaho. It's not where we're actually from, that's where we live. That's where I teach at the university. So cross stitch has been a great way for me to decompress when I get home, something to do and enjoy on the weekends, especially during these winter months. During the summer, I love to garden and be in the yard. We have a beautiful garden, and I'll share some of that, I'm sure, as we come to the spring and summer months. But during the winter, there's no gardening, and I really love the cross stitching to be able to come home and do that as a way to relax and enjoy the winter months inside during the cold winters of Idaho. So let's get started on a WIP parade. I will share my WIPs with you, give you as much information as I can. I do a lot of stitching from my iPad. I really prefer the ability, I use GoodNotes, and I just put my patterns in GoodNotes, and the ability to use my iPad and mark my patterns without having to sort of muck up my paper patterns, and without having to have copies everywhere. And I usually have my iPad with me so that as I travel or go different places, that I can just open my iPad and I have the patterns that I need. I don't usually always buy PDFs necessarily. I am happy with a paper pattern, but I do digitize it, just take a picture of it or scan it with my iPad and put it into GoodNotes. So any of the patterns that I don't have a physical copy of with me here, I will insert pictures as I'm talking here and as I edit. So I just laid out all my WIPs here. There's no particular order. We'll just start with what is at hand. All of my bags that I have are made by me or they are purchased bags at this point. And like I said, I enjoy sewing and quilting. I have my machines here behind me. I love to make bags, actually, probably a little bit more than I like to quilt. So project bags are right up my alley, and I've made several of those so far. So this first WIP is from, get my card out here, the Historical Sampler Company, and it was their Christmas, the Robin Christmas Patchwork SAL. And this is one I don't think I have, I just have the pattern here. I don't think I have the picture of the so this was a mystery SAL. It was sent out in 4 parts, and I am stitching this on 18 count Velt Ada, and this is, I think I did it 2/2. It looks like it's pretty, get oriented to the camera, there we go. Okay, so there's my progress. I just done this started on that first quarter, and then I kind of lost the Christmas stitchy bug, and so I've put it down. And yeah, I think this is 2/2 before I really even thought about or started stitching with 1 thread. It's just a little bit thick, but it's fine. And using the called for DMC on that, and I will insert a picture of that finished project. And here's this is my Halloween bag with my pumpkins. And I've got some little, I think that's from Primrose Cottage. I love Primrose Cottage. They were one of the first, again, pattern makers that I started watching on FlossTube, and I just really love their style. So this next one is the Salem Sisters Apothecary, and by Primrose Cottage. I started this in September. And there's my progress. I've got quite a lot done. Again, I'm finding that I'm very much an in-season stitcher. So I started that in the season of Halloween and then kind of set it down. This was done on 32 count vintage country mocha. What was that one? See that? Okay. And just the called for threads on that pattern as well. I think it was an overdyed. But again, some of these are before I really got the idea of keeping track, because I have much better notes now. These older ones from last summer and fall, I don't have quite as good of data on. This is one from Hello from Liz Matthews, and this is from her Patreon last fall. This is House on Pumpkin Hill. Let me take out my cards stuck in there. There we go. So there's the pattern, picture of the pattern. Again, this was in her Patreon, so it was just available for those on her Patreon for that month. I think it was probably October. It doesn't say necessarily, but I am stitching this on 36 count Tycho Edinburgh. There we go. And I did not iron any of my WIPs. In my next FlossTube, I will go over my finishes so far for this year, and I did iron all of those, but I did not go to the trouble to iron all my WIPs. So I am also finding that I love houses, so I love stitching this, and again, I got pretty far, but set it aside at the end of that Halloween season. And this is, I'm stitching with the DMC, and I'm guessing 2/2, it looks like. There's the colors here. I guess I can show you the colors. You like to see the colors? There's my drops. And I did cut pretty long lengths. I don't think I would cut them this long again. There's some shorter ones in there, but there's my colors. I guess I could show you against the cloth there. Okay. That one again is The House on Pumpkin Hill by Hello from Liz Matthews. I did unzip all my zippers before I did this. You wouldn't have to hear me zipping and unzipping, but there's still quite a lot of fumbling. So sorry about that. This next one is from Plum Street. It is Jack's Bash. This was quite the rage last fall, and I jumped in on the bandwagon. So there it is, Jack's Bash Plum Street samplers. And I got all of my supplies for this one from Shepherd's Bush. I'm just about 2.5, 3 hours away from Shepherd's Bush. They are my nearest L&S. And so whenever I travel down to Utah, I like to try to stop there and see what they have going on. Oh, I put away my card. Let's pull that out so I can tell you all the things. Okay, so I did this on 36 count Edinburgh Natural. I'm doing it 1/2 with the called for gentle arts, and I started this in September of 2024. And I think I just have a very small start here. That's it, just the flower there in the corner. But I love this natural looking linen. It is just beautiful. And here are the floss for that. Okay, mostly gentle arts. I think all gentle arts. Yep, all gentle arts called for on that one. Isn't that lovely? Just that warmth color of that linen is just so beautiful. Okay, so Jack's Bash. And in this bag, I found my light. I had taken this on a trip. I travel a little bit for business and things, and visit schools, and found that in that bag. So that was a lovely find. Okay, this next one, oh, there's not in that one. Okay, this is the Wee Santa for 24 from Heart and Hand. Oh, do I have my card? I don't seem to have a card, so I'm not sure what linen this is on. Here's my progress. I'm really close here. I should just finish this. But again, season, I got a little caught up in some of the stitch alongs and other things that were happening for Christmas this season, and this one got set aside. But this is done with the called for DMC. I did DMC on this one. Oh, there's the tag for the linen. It is, it just says 32 count linen. So that must be the color. Linen. So 32 count linen. And it is a lovely light color. The beard gets a little bit lost, but I think once we do the rest of the stitching, that'll show up pretty good. So Wee Santa by Heart and Hand, the Wee Santa 2024, there is the finished look there. So not too much left. I've got quite a bit done. I just need to get back to that one and finish it up. Okay, this is another Patreon. This is a Teresa Kogut Patreon. And this is her hometown mystery SAL that is happening. Let's see if I have printed any of the covers of what it's supposed to look like at the moment. There we go. Okay, so she's released many more of this, but you get the idea here. So this is in her Patreon. This is as far as we've gotten in September. So down here you can see that. And again, I have realized how much I love to stitch houses, so this has been so fun. And you can, it's a 2-year SAL. So she started it in 2024 and is carrying it through 25. If you decide that you love that and want to join her Patreon and get in on the SAL, you can. She's offering each of the previous patterns for just $1. So for $12, that's amazing. You can get right caught up. Well, 13, I guess, because January is over. Get right back caught up and just join in. And again, this is another one. I love it, but have not gotten back to stitching. Some of the other smalls that I've been doing have taken over. There it is. This is another fabric I picked out from Shepherd's Bush. So, and do I have the fabric? I should have the fabric listed in here. Let me find my card. I just have started keeping track of everything on index cards. And, oh, there it goes. This fabric was 18 count Ada in Misty Gray. So Misty Gray, 18 count Ada. And I'm just realizing I've had my fan going this whole time and it probably sounds awful. But I don't want to stop right now and turn it off and have it be weird. So we'll see how it goes. And I'm using the called for DMC on that. Again, by Teresa Kogut, available in her Patreon. Okay. about this bag. In this bag, I'm just using, this is just from Michael's. It's one of their artist bags. So I've grabbed a few of those to use as well. You can see I've printed off all the charts, and I've just put them in plastic page keepers on a ring and just keep that in my bag. Oh, I don't think I showed you my other bags. Okay, this is the one the apothecary was in from Primrose Cottage. And then I did this patchwork one that the Hello from Liz Matthews Pumpkin Hill was in. Okay. And then I have a few of these just little makeup pouches that I just had on hand. I had about 5 of them, brand new, that I just had. And so I've been throwing my small projects in these. And they actually have little pockets on the inside. And so I'll throw my scissors in there and my threader. And then I have them all right in there, quick and easy projects to grab. All right, this next one is from the Fox and Rabbit. And this is a sew along that is available in their special Facebook group. They have a group that is Fox and Rabbit Mystery Sew Along, and they've been doing this now for several years. And this is the 2025 sew along. The theme is Cloister Garden. So I can get that close for you. There we go. So Cloister Garden, that center blue area was the January piece. And then this piece that I'm in the middle of around the edge is February. So I'm just down here adding these leaf motifs, and then I'm adding the purple flowers in between. It is a mystery each month. No idea what it's going to look like, but this so far is the start. Again, if you'd like to join, you can. The pattern for the sew along is free all year long. So if you'd like to jump in now, you just go, you can join that Facebook group. But also the sew along is available on the Fox and Rabbit website. I will link it down below as well. I'll link all the things. And you can jump in at any time. This fabric is a 27 count light taupe Linda, and I am stitching it 1/1. This is a big piece. It is 333 stitches by 333 stitches. So it is very large, and I didn't want it to be huge. And so I decided if I stitched on some sort of even weave over one, that would be very doable. And so a 27 is basically like stitching on a 54, if that even exists. I don't know if I've ever heard of a 54. But a 54/2 would be the same as a 27/1. So I have found it actually quite enjoyable. The thing about linen that bothers me is just having to count over 2. It messes me up. But I love to stitch small, and so that's a nice in between to be able to stitch over the 2 on an even, or stitch over 1 on the even weave. Oh, and that little needle minder up there, I made that just from an enamel pin. My sister helped me. We just cut off the back with some wire snips, and then glued a magnet to the back with some E6000 glue. So that is a one of a kind by me there. Let's see what we have here. Oh, this is a brand new start. I just started this one yesterday. This is Primrose Cottage. This is their February freebie. Primrose Cottage does a free stitch pattern the first Thursday of each month, and you must be subscribed to their newsletter to be part of that. So if you're not subscribed to the Primrose Cottage newsletter, get signed up. There's a link on their website, and I think on their FlossTube, usually in their description, they talk about it. You can go into their Facebook group and people will tell you that. But this, I will have to link a picture because this is one that I have digitally. Here's the flosses. They are all Weeks dye works. They just fell, sorry, I have to pick those up. They're beautiful spring pastels, the blue, pink, yellow, and then this brown. Gorgeous. And here is my start. I've got the start of a little bee up here in the corner, and then the top of the bee house, and that will make much more sense when I show you the pattern. And this is on 36 count white Edinburgh linen. So it's the white 36 count. And I'm doing 1/2 on that one. And it is a lovely Valentine bee-themed item. And I did just order the finishing kit for that. So I'm excited. I really have found that if a kit is available to finish, that I am more likely to finish my items if I have the kit. I have several items, which I'll show in my next YouTube number 2, FlossTube number 2, that I finished, and I haven't fully finished them because I just don't have the supplies right at hand to do that. So I love Primrose Cottage's finishing kits because I finish. It's way more likely that I finish. This is super fun. This is a case that came with some quilt clips that I got from Amazon, and it's just a nice thin little case. If you go to my Instagram, I did take photos and measurements of this, and you can find that on my Instagram just a few posts back. But what I did was I just made a nice little travel kit for my smalls. This is another Primrose Cottage freebie. I think this must have been December. And I've still got my needle stuck in here. This is one I usually take when I'm running my kids to the doctor, or picking them up from piano or something. So I tend to just leave the needle stuck in there. I'm just gonna set it aside there so you can see. But there's my start, my progress, I should say. See that okay? There we go. And it is a gingerbread theme. I don't have in this case the name, but again, it was a freebie from Primrose Cottage in December. Primrose Cottage, once the month is over, they do put their freebies in their shop for purchase. So get on their newsletter if you're not, so that you can get these freebies. And then I have their floss. Again, they put out a kit. I usually get their floss and linen kit. This was all came in their kit, the linen and the floss together. These are mostly Weeks Dye Works, I think. They all are, yeah. These are all Weeks Dye Works colors. And then it's just ready to go. I get their pattern on the first Thursday, and I'm ready to just stitch because I have it all together. But here is the little kit that I made. So I just had this, my sister actually gave this to me, but it is just some metal, and I glued it, that she had left over from something. Just a very thin metal piece, and I put it on a sticky board so that it would stay. And then I just used double-sided sticky tape, you can kind of see it there, to stick it into this plastic box. And then again, I just took some batting, wrapped it around a sticky board, put it here so I have a thread bed because I'm just traveling and going around, that I have somewhere to just put it right in there. And then I threw in my foldable travel scissors, and these are not fantastic. They're actually quite terrible. But for just traveling around to just cut some thread while you're on the go, they're fabulous. And they just fold up nice and flat. And now on the floor is my needle threader. I love needle threaders. I just, on Amazon, bought a box of like 20 of them. Just the really simple, cheap ones. And so I just have them stashed in all kinds of places. But then everything fits in here nice and easy. I've got my needle minder up there in the corner. Not at all Christmassy, but it's just what I grabbed. And then all of my threads and everything just fit in there really nicely. And this tucks in my purse. And I can just take it with me wherever I go. It's so fantastic. So that is my on-the-go, take with me to appointments and picking up the kids and toting them around. There's my needle minder. So just these cheap little, and I can link what I got down below from Amazon. So you can grab those if you want to. I've noticed needle minders needle threaders just help me a ton. It's so frustrating to be licking it or trying to stick it through the needle. And it's not even that my eyesight's that bad to try to make it happen. It's just not worth the time. And it makes it so much easier to thread the needle with a needle threader. Okay, here's another one of my little bags that I've thrown. Oh, that's the one I just showed you. That is the Bee Valentine one. I put it back in my to show pile. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I'm reaching over to my chair that's here on the side. Okay, this is from the Primrose Cottage Sip and Stitch that they had for their Christmas winter time. They probably posted it in the November time. But 3 times a year, Primrose Cottage does a Sip and Stitch box. And it comes with several patterns. It comes with all of the supplies that you need to stitch it, the threads. I think not usually the linen, but maybe the linen. I can't remember. What does this say? Yeah, just the flosses usually. And then the patterns. and usually some extra goodies. So this is Home for the Holidays by Primrose Cottage. And Cup of Cheer also came in that kit. That's their back photo there. And I have finished Cup of Cheer. I'll show that to you in my next floss tube so you can see it finished, but this one I'm in the middle of. So Home for the Holidays. Now this one. This one, I cut the fabric too small, and that happens. And I am usually a center or a top left starter, and mostly just to make sure that I start in the right spots on the linen. I think I would do better if I was a right start stitcher, just for stitching purposes, and I could do better stitching in hand, but I don't. So here's what happened. I cut that really close. And I debated, I had stitched so much, and I started to do these green letters, and it started getting closer and closer to the edge, and I was like, I'm just gonna stick it out and see if it works. This is going to be made into a pillow. Again, in the kit, all of the finishing fabrics and everything comes with it. So it's going to be a pillow, and I think I can eke out enough of an edge here to put that into a pillow. At the very least, I can add a fabric border to it and then put it into the pillow. So I think there's just enough there that I can make that work. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make it work. I don't know what fabric this is. It is an even weave of some type, and I am stitching 2/2, again with the called for floss because it came in the kit. So that's Home for the Holidays by Primrose Cottage. Okay, just a few more. This is my current favorite. This one I have really been stitching on quite often. I finished a lot of smaller pieces. Again, I'll show you my next YouTube. But in between those small finishes, I have been working on Winter Moon by Plum Street Samplers. Get up close there for you. And it is beautiful. A house. I am enjoying those houses, and I really don't mind the brickwork at all. Once I started by outlining all of the grout part of the bricks, and then just filling in, and because all of the grout work's done, it's really easy to just fill in the different colors. So this is being stitched on 32 count feldspar, again from Shepherd's Bush, from Picture This Plus. So I purchased it at Shepherd's Bush, but it is 36 count feldspar from Picture This Plus. I'm using all the called for thread. I'm stitching 1/2, and I started this on December 15th of 2024, and that is my progress. So my needle minder is from Primrose Cottage. I think that came in the Sip and Stitch. So Winter Moon by Plum Street Samplers. Well, there's my thread hanging out there. It does have my needle on it. I was just stitching on this last night. And I'm really close on that brickwork. I just have a few bricks left to fill in. Hopefully I can finish that up this afternoon or tomorrow and start on the rest of it. Here's my bag. Christmas chickens, folks. So cute, so fun. My floss is it is on floss drops in this bag. So actually, let me pull it out so I can show you the floss drops that I actually made these floss drops. They are on a brown cardstock, and I made just a regular size hole punch here, and then I think this is maybe a 0.6, probably, larger punch. I pulled it out of my paper crafting stash, and then punched the top with a fancy puncher, but you wouldn't have to have a fancy puncher to do that. And it works out perfectly. This is my dream tag. I'm not spending a ton of money on a floss drop, and I've just written the thread right up there. So there's my threads for Winter Moon. Okay. This is my bee bag. This is full of Primrose Cottage bee patterns. Isn't that so fun? So I've got them all in here, and see, they're all in there. Some I have finishing things for, some I have threads for. I am doing this all on the called for fabric, which is 25 count just Lugana from Zweigart. This is a fat quarter, and I just put this in the bag because all of the bee patterns I am stitching on that. The one I'm in the middle of right now is Hive Rules, again by Primrose Cottage. Doing up close for you there. I am using the called for DMC, and I have just put all of Lindsay's bee patterns have the same color palette, and so here those are. So put it up against that white for you so you can see. I love the turquoise and the yellow combination. They're just a beautiful combination there. And so here is my progress. A fun little bee needle minder, and that is my current progress. So in between my smalls, this is the second item that I'm pulling out, kind of rotating with the winter moon, is my bees. It's been a long time since I worked on them. I actually did the bee quilt. I started that for my birthday start last September. I finished it, so I will show that in my next FlossTube, and then started this one after that. But after the Christmas and the winter stitching, I thought I am ready for some spring and summer stitching, even though it's only February, and realized I should pull out my bees. So that's what I did. Okay, and let's see. I have here also the strawberries from Primrose Cottage. I think I started one. I forgot to open this bag and check if I had started any of the strawberries. Let's check real quick and see. Oh yeah, I sure did. Okay, so this is the spring sip and stitch from Primrose Cottage. And so I've started the berry basket. There we go. And this is on light ash gray, 28 count Zweigart Lugana. And I'm sure this is 2/2. Yep. 2/2, and here is my start of my basket. And I think if I remember right, on one of the recent FlossTubes that Primrose did, they mentioned that the strawberry basket would be released generally this spring. So in the next couple of months, if you didn't get that sip and stitch box, look out with Primrose for their strawberry items that they should be releasing here soon in the spring. Okay, I think this is my last WIP, folks. This one is also from Primrose. This is the, oh no, this isn't. This is, oh, this one. This is from Hands-On Design, and this was she has a folk series. And so for each of the seasons, she has done these folk designs, which are long rectangular designs. And during Jingle Ball this year, she released an exclusive to Jingle Ball, which is her Christmas folk. And so that is the one thing that I purchased. I've purchased a couple other things actually from Jingle Ball, all from Hands-On Design. She had done some needlepoint, and I had just started getting into that and looking at that. And so I purchased her additional needlepoint designs that she had available, and then Christmas folk. So this is on, let's see, Belfast linen, 32 count in the color Platinum. Purchased from Shepherd's Bush. And here's my start. I did a center start here. Sorry again for the wrinkles. So I've got the words there, Christmas, and starting into the design. My chicken pin there, that's for my sister. And so there's my start. Hands-On Design, Christmas folk. I don't know when that will be released generally, but that was a Jingle Ball exclusive. And I'm doing that with the DMC called for. Okay, so Christmas folk. I realized I did not show you the pouch I have it in. This is my first folder that I made. Don't look too closely. I worked on it really quick, and it was mostly, I just was like, I want to see how it is to make a folder. So I made one, and I made it quickly and just got through it. So the stitching is not fantastic. It is not my best stitching work, but it is done, and I enjoyed the experience of stitching a folder. So here it is. My folder, it's got the front pocket. I love this pocket for all of the threads. And then inside one of these, oh, I threw my pattern inside this front too. but it's got the 2 open pockets here and then this 1 zipper pocket. And so that is where my Christmas folk is living at the moment, and it's a nutcracker pattern that I used. I just quilted it and then yeah, made this folder. So I can't remember whose tutorial that I followed for this, but I will link it down below if you're interested. I totally followed a tutorial to be able to make that. So that is the end of my WIP parade, and like not a million WIPs, which is totally fine, but a good place to start FlossTube. So thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this and you'd like to get to know me better and would like to follow along my journey, this is, I think, the cool thing about this, my FlossTube channel, is that it really is me from sort of the beginning. I have been doing it a year, but as you can see, I don't have a ton, and I'm just starting to get into samplers. I will be attending Stitch West in April, and I am going to the Tudor Rose. I don't know what they're calling it. It's not a retreat, it's just a day, but they have an exclusive stitch that they're doing, and that's happening in May, and so I am going to participate in that in person in Texas. I just happen to be down in that area for some work things, and so I'm just gonna stay an extra day and be able to participate in that. So I will be coming back and reporting on my experiences with those. So I am part of the Tudor Rose Guild, and I am also part of the Rockies Guild. I can't think of the name right now. I can't think of it. But it's based in Colorado, and both of those guilds offer online and distance opportunities to participate. So I've enjoyed being part of those and getting to know more about the historical sampler side of stitching. So follow along if you'd like to share my journey as I dive more into cross stitch and learn and participate in the community. So thanks so much, friends, and we will see you on FlossTube number 2 next time. Bye-bye.